unprecedented destruction. Donald Trump tried to sell this war to us over and over and over again. But guess what? We can see the damages. We can see his failures, right like just we see the sun in the sky. Guys, this is an absolute disaster. Before I share with you all the details, just to let you know, if you're not subscribed to my channel, consider subscribing, hit the like, share this video, and also let me know what you think. Let's play this video first, and then I will tell you what I think about this whole situation.
Unprecedented destruction. A CNN investigation discovering Iran has caused extensive damage to a majority of the U.S. military sites in the region. Precise Iranian missile and drone strikes, aided by sophisticated Chinese technology, hitting some of America's most crucial military assets in the Middle East. The extent of the damage unknown until now. Our Tamara Kablawi is out front.
Camp Buehring, Kuwait. American soldiers enjoying a karaoke night at one of the biggest U.S. military hubs in the Gulf. That was then. This is now. A once bustling American microcity in the desert, nearly empty and heavily damaged after a weeks-long barrage of Iranian missiles and drones. One of many U.S. military facilities in the oil-rich Arabian Peninsula, targeted by Iran even as the U.S. and Israel pummeled the Islamic Republic's large arsenal. So what impact have Iran's strikes had on America's footprint in the Middle East? A CNN investigation found evidence of unprecedented destruction. We can reveal that strikes damaged at least 16 U.S. installations across 8 countries. According to our analysis and sourcing, that's the majority of American military positions in the region, and some of them are virtually unusable now.
Before this war started, or when this war started, Percy, he is from Queen's Institute, he said that the casualty numbers were classified, means we would not know. It was not made public about the destruction, the death of United States military in the Middle East. After watching this news from CNN, I'm pretty sure that was definitely the case. They are still hiding a lot of the details from us.
A U.S. source familiar with the situation told us that they'd never seen anything like this at American bases, that these were rapid, targeted strikes using advanced technology. Iran's main targets? Multi-million-dollar aircraft, like this Boeing E-3 Sentry, which gave the U.S. a huge amount of visibility over the Gulf. It's out of production, and in today's money, it's worth nearly $500 million. Critical communications equipment. Look at these giant golf balls. They're known as radomes, and they protect satellite dishes vital for data transmission. In this base alone, Iran destroyed all but one of the radomes less than a month into the war.
Wow.
And
I mean, of course, these are huge losses. Then you also have these footages, the one you are seeing right now. They were shown to the public. Do you know by who? By Mohammed bin Salman, MBS of Saudi Arabia. Why would he do that? Well, it was because Donald Trump said MBS had no choice but to kiss his rear end. When MBS heard that, the very next day we have seen all of these footages like this one coming in public domain.
Radar systems. Highly sophisticated, expensive, difficult to replace, and critical to air defense. A second U.S. source, this one a congressional aide familiar with damage assessments, described these as the most cost-effective of the targets. Our radar systems, they said, are our most expensive and our most limited resource in the region.
For U.S. allies in the region, there's a dilemma. In some ways, Iran's show of force makes the U.S.'s presence in the region even more necessary to Gulf security. But there's a new reality here, which is that U.S. military installations, previously seen as formidable fortresses, have turned into sitting targets. As a Saudi source told me, the war has shown Saudi Arabia, that's the U.S.'s longest-standing Arab ally, that the alliance with the U.S. cannot be exclusive, and it is not, in their words, impregnable.
Of course not. The Saudi Arabian people, government there, UAE, Bahrain, Kuwait, Qatar, all of these countries, they're now 100% convinced that United States military cannot protect them. But that was the promise they made before they set up those military bases in the Middle East. But they are not able to fulfill those promises. On top of this, guys, also remember, the main priority or number one priority that Donald Trump has, the United States has, is to protect Israel more than any other country.
Sense of just how vulnerable U.S. facilities have become, have a look at this. It's the war room at Qatar's El Udeid Air Base, the theater command and control hub for U.S. air power across 21 nations. Struck not just once, but twice. And according to a U.S. source, causing significant damage. The base had been largely evacuated at this point, and no casualties were reported. Iran's visibility over its targets has never been clearer. In 2024, according to the Financial Times, Tehran secretly acquired a Chinese satellite known as the TEE-01B, a massive upgrade from its own satellites. That means that Tehran went from looking at images of this quality to this. This is the first time America has fought an adversary with satellites that capture high-res imagery almost as detailed as its own.
Also, remember that Russia, they provided live and images, fed the Iranian government, the army there, with whatever they need in order to target American military assets and personnel. This is something that was established by the U.S. intelligence themselves, that they claim Vladimir Putin was supplying all of these live footages, images, technologies, whatever it needs in order to destroy and kill American troops and personnel in Iran. Therefore, when you see Russia and China jointly helping Iran, you know that United States was in this with Israel, but they were not fighting just Iran. They were fighting many countries, and we do not even know the other countries who helped Iran. I'm pretty sure there are other countries too, but China, Russia, very important ally to United States, to Iran, and that is what Donald Trump should have understood before he started this war.
Imagery almost as detailed as its own. As the scale of the damage comes into focus, many will wonder whether America's presence, once a protective shield in the Middle East, has turned into its Achilles heel.
Responding to our findings, a Pentagon official said that the Defense Department does not discuss damage assessments, but that U.S. forces remain fully operational with the same readiness and combat effectiveness. We also understand from our sources that the vast majority of U.S. troops evacuated their positions in the Middle East, with many working from the relative safety of hotels and apartments in the Arabian Peninsula.
What stands out to you about all this?
Well, Aaron, what's interesting is that the U.S. intercept rate is likely somewhere in the 95% level right now. These look predominantly like drone strikes. That's our assessment, the Shaheeds that did this rather than Iranian ballistic missiles. But it does show if the intercept rate is somewhere around the 95% level, that 5% or so are getting through and they are having damage. So the system that the U.S. has in place is not foolproof. It's very good, but it's not foolproof. And I would just say, sort of big picture, if your shift to the Indo-Pacific with a PLA, the Chinese People's Liberation Army rocket force, U.S. bases across the region, Japan, Philippines, and other places, are going to be at much more severe danger than what we're seeing now in the Middle East.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All of these bases, they are just sitting bases to be annihilated, to be pulverized by Iranian missiles, or maybe, who knows, Russia, China will not only supply Iran with missiles, but they will shoot one in the very next future, because right now everybody can see the weakness of U.S. military and its strength too. And that is a big mistake for any country to show its full military strength in the process, showing the weakness at the same time. But hey, Donald Trump, I mean, he had to pander to the demand of Benjamin Netanyahu. Now, United States military looks very weak, and this kind of reporting from CNN will make it much worse. The damages, they're humongous. We only have the tip of the iceberg, I'm pretty sure. If you do proper assessment of the entire damage from day one, you will be surprised. And it will be in the billions, if not in trillion, at least 1 trillion. But guys, I will give you more updates. Subscribe for more videos. See you in the next one.